recording. Everybody on their best behavior. All right. Yeah. Now I'm gonna try to take over. So the first trick I want to show you is this: I'm gonna just disable the output.
Okay.
And
would it be good if you just start from beginning? So
sure. I right-clicked on it and said disable. And now, of course, it can't be disabled. It already is disabled. But say enable.
Okay.
And that turns it back on. It's not gray anymore.
Okay.
I'm going to disable it. So the point here is I'm just turning it, basically turning it off. So if we run the workspace, it won't actually populate this thing. It won't do anything. And what I'm going to do instead is I just right-clicked on that little dot there. And I'm going to say connect inspector. So what an inspector is it's basically FME's. Think of it this way: it's a way of visualizing data in FME. So if there's a problem with what you see in the inspector, it basically, what I'm trying to say is it takes ArcGIS out of the equation. So it takes your input data and throws it into its own sort of visualization.
Okay.
And if there's a problem there, then you know you're going to have a problem in your output. It just takes out a variable.
Yeah. Got.
So I'm going to go ahead and run this now. And actually, let me just look at your configurations.
Parameter we set only 100 or 1,000 or something.
Okay, that's good. So it goes nice and fast without. See, advanced. Features to read. Okay, max features to read 1,000. That's a good thing. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just run this. And let's see what comes up. So you'll see another piece of software launch, this thing. Okay, and what I'm seeing here is what is consistent with what you said. It says there's no geometry to view. It's not, somehow the geometry is getting stripped from the records that are coming through. So we know, at least at this point, that the problem is not over here because we're not even using this.
Yeah. But the
so input. Let's go. Yeah. So there's something fishy with the input. The good news is that it actually read data, right?
So that means we connect to the right file or location.
Yeah, it looks like the right location to me. I'm going to look at the format parameters. So the thing I'm seeing here, geometry column name, that's weird. I've never seen this populated at all before. Basically, it's asking what's the name of the column in Oracle that stores the geometry.
Oh.
So, you know what? I'm just going to delete this. Say OK. Let's try it now. So we're telling it to be very specific about which column it's reading the geometry from there. Let's see if we see geometry now.
There you go.
There we go. I see some. That's looking promising. So let's do this. Let's open this back up. Oh, well, I see why it's still. All right, so okay, that's one problem. I see another problem is the output type. The geometry output type is set to table.
The first one you sent to me, it said the line work, but this one is a table. I noticed that. Yeah.
All right, let's set this to polygon line. If I can find it, I guess that would be it. I should ask, what are you? Is this just? Are you just doing this kind of as a test, or are you doing this for a specific reason?
Just do the test for now to first of all make sure it can convert. That's the one thing we want to confirm. And
Okay.
after that, we will have a we'll do more from here.
Okay. So another thing here is we're by changing this from table to polyline, we're basically telling it that we need to completely. We don't only want to drop the records in the existing table, but if the table's there, what you want to do is drop the entire table, because you need to redefine the table as a linear geometry. So drop table, yes. All right. And let's enable this. All right, and let's run it. I'm going to disable this because we've already. Okay, it looks successful. Let's go try to view the data in ArcMap. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I have a newer version.
Hmm. So can I? Where did you? Go ahead and find the data and throw it on there.
I think. Give me a second.
Yeah.
What? Okay. Let me move this out of the way. The top. This is the one. Oh, I see some geometry now.
Yeah. It worked. Basically, the geometry on there is from the it's just limited to the 1,000 random records that got selected. So maybe just to kind of help satisfy yourself and make sure attributes got pushed across as well, look at the attribute table associated with those. Okay, so I know that's probably a little disconcerting. Scroll down a little bit. Just make sure there are some good. Okay, there we go. So don't. It just so happens that most of the first records that you read are records that didn't get calibrated. That's why they don't really have many attributes, but it's fine. It's all expected stuff.
Okay.
So there you go. Success.
Okay. Let me ask Quinn and Hip. Did you guys want me to go from the beginning or during this section, or you want me to go walk you through in a later offline?
Later offline is fine for me. It's simple.
I have my phone mute. Yes, I think offline is fine.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, and then all you have to do is remove that 1,000 limit, and then just export the whole thing. I understand. There's a few things I want to just throw out there before I leave. One is that I understand that Ryan already went through sort of the advantage of exporting to FileGeodatabase rather than shapefile. I want to just make sure that's clear to you guys. I'll just say that 9 times out of 10, I mean, the only reason that people still use shapefiles is because they're used to them. But the reality is shapefile is a terrible format. If you can avoid using a shapefile as an exchange as a format for just doing much of anything, you should, because it has all kinds of stupid limitations. You know, it made perfect sense back in 1985, but there's much better options now today. That's one thing. The next thing I want to point out is that what you're outputting here from Oracle is there's a whole paragraph on this in the system design, but what you're outputting into ArcGIS is not ready. It's not prepped for dynamic segmentation. You can't use this line work as a basis for dynamic segmentation.
Understand.
Okay, great. And you guys have seen the workflow for moving it. And the last thing I want to point out is the database you're reading from is, again, is not the final database. It's just the sort of the August deliverable from CSUs. And yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Which I'm sure you guys get also.
Yeah. Hey, a couple things. First of all, Adam, you said this line work is not ready for the linear referencing work in GIS. And what are just for our understanding, what are the next steps to get this ready for?
The best thing I can do is point you to the knowledge base article that describes that in really good detail.
Okay. I think, is it the link that you had you sent to us? I mean, yes.
Yes.
Well,
I would say follow those instructions, and I think I even sent you an example FME workspace that does it. But the basic steps are that you have to add a couple of transformers. One that uses the begin and end measure attributes for each segment as anchor measures, and then the second one interpolates everything in between.
Okay. And okay, and the second thing is when I wasn't able to or Brian to convert this from the August route in GeoMedia to Azure shapefile, and then you make it work earlier. What did you do during the process?
I don't know. Wait. Who couldn't do what? What were they trying to accomplish?
Well, I couldn't make it work, or Brian couldn't make it work, but you took
this
the
in
files.
particular?
Yeah, I sent you the files, the FME file, and you make some changes, some edits.
Yeah.
And what are the edits that you make?
Just now that I just showed you?
Oh, just that, just the column name. We just delete that and we change the table geometry.
Yeah. I guess I'm not sure I understand the question, Aaron.
The question is, I couldn't make it work, or Brian.
But what is it?
The FME.
So FME can do like 1,000 different things.
All right. No, I couldn't convert from FME. Convert the shapefile, the route August deliverable to the shapefile.
Oh. Okay. Well, I just showed you how to do that, right?
Okay. So that I just confirmed that there's only 2 items that you changes, nothing else.
I think so. I mean, if you want, we can just do it from scratch, so that you can just see like how to go from 0 to something. You want to just do that real quick?
Okay. I don't think that takes long. Okay.
It won't take long.
Let's do that. Okay.
Okay.
Just refresh memory again. Okay.
Okay.
I was thinking we'd do it offline, but.
All right. I'm just gonna do that. Blank workspace.
Did you save this? Did you save workspace for me? Okay.
Sure. Okay. All right. So first thing we're gonna do is make a reader. We're gonna make it and it'll always be Oracle Spatial. And from LRS Connect, that looks right. Parameters. Press the table list. What that does is it gives you the list of essentially of layers that you can view with LRS Connect. Okay, we want routes. Okay. Say okay. All right, and just drop this down, make sure it looks right. Yep, looks appropriate. And let's make a, so that was the reader. Now let's make a writer. Let's go with file geodatabase. I mean, again, I want you to not use shapefile. I mean, you can use shapefile, but you're going to have more problems with shapefile. Okay.
Yeah, the file size limitation.
Yeah, well, that's one of them. That's one of the problems. There's others too. The other big problem that you'll have is you can't have identical column names.
Right.
In a
It would
shapefile.
concate the field name.
Yeah. So, well, og deliverable test. Okay. We're just going to tell it to create the target table definition. Just base it on the reader. So it'll copy this set of columns. Does that make sense? Or here, I can show you other options. You can you can do it all these different ways. Say okay. Okay, that created a target with the identical set of things. All you got to do now is map from here to here. And all these are green because they have identical column names to map to. If they weren't identical, you would have to like draw a line from here to wherever you want it to, each column from here to go into over here. The next thing I always do is check. Usually it just defaults to GeoDB table. Obviously you don't want that. You need it to be the geometry type that you're populating from. So again, in this case, we want to go with polyline geometry. I like to look at my format parameters. So drop table and truncate table. Do you guys understand the difference between these two?
I don't.
Okay. So when you drop table first, what you're saying is delete not just the records in the table, but delete the whole damn table, and then recreate the table to populate into. That's what drop table means. Truncate table means just delete all the records before you populate. And if you say no to both of those, what it'll do is it won't delete anything. It'll just add to what's already there. So in this case, there's nothing there because we're going to literally create the object that we're going to populate. But oftentimes, especially when you're running a workspace that populates something that already exists, like there may already be data in there, and you have to make a decision about whether you want to empty it out and repopulate it, or whether you want to just add to what's already there. Make sense? Okay. Just say okay to that. Come on. I don't need to be controlling the mouse anymore. Having a Good. All right. Let's see. Last thing I'm going to do, just because we just had this problem, I'm going to look at the format parameters. Notice geometry column name is empty.
Okay.
That's the way it usually is. That's like, remember I deleted this last time around. I don't know how that got there. You mean it that way. And if I just run it, I think it probably work.
You're having a hard time hearing you again.